Hello. Okay, so I'm back. Just took a little break because I had to get things done. And also working on myself. See, it's because my channel is not monetized, it's not necessarily a business for me. I don't have things to say every single day, right? Because it ain't that much. It is a lot to say, but then it's not healthy to have so much on you like that. Like, I don't want to just constantly have, because that stuff that's in you, when you constantly always have something to say, and if it's not a business, that means it's too much there's too much going on the inner person. It's too much going on the inside. It shouldn't be that much. But anyway, I want to talk about something real quick. So I just I don't get into the news too much, but then I just started looking at this stuff with NYC, and they're preparing for a nuclear attack. Right, and they got some instructions on how to prepare for this nuclear attack, including bug out supplies and, where to go into their houses if they don't have a basement, get away from the windows. And I mean, it's a nuclear attack. Okay, I don't know what happened with was it Hiroshima? It's a nuclear attack that they're talking about. Okay. But anyway, I guess obviously people know that everybody just can't get away from New York like that, so they're trying to think of the safest way. Okay, but here's what I gotta say. Here's what stood out to me as I was reading, talking about the 3 steps to prepare, because I was trying to read the article and I don't remember everything because I'm not looking at it right now. Since I'm on my phone, I can't flip back and forth. But here's what stood out to me. Okay, they talked about 3 things. Okay, safe things to do while you're in your house and stuff like that, or wherever you're staying. But then what stood out to me is they said, and continue to pay attention to media. Continue to look at media. Why did they need to say that? Why did they need to say that? Are people starting to not believe media anymore? See, now they coming up with all these disasters and stuff. Of course, they putting fear in you. They making people keep getting lower in vibration by doing all this stuff. I also believe it's a lot of things I believe. I'm gonna say that other than the spiritual, because I'm gonna get to the spiritual stuff later on. So here's what I feel like they're doing right now, just with the physical world. They probably want to clean things out because many people know by now that China owns most of the United States of America. Okay? If it is going to be a nuclear bomb, which it might not be, but something's going to probably happen to clear a lot of people out of New York City. And that lets me know that the United States is definitely falling. But I saw in 2020 the Washington Monument. I mean, I saw that in the vision where that thing was struck down. I saw that in the spiritual realm where that thing was struck down. And speaking of being struck down, I need to make sure I detach from the United States too. And I'm talking about not detaching just as leaving, but detaching, spiritually detaching from the United States. Because anybody, with the fall of the United States, anybody who's attached to United States, I realize we work in the United States, and some of us work, some of us have businesses, whatever you're doing, you're paying taxes, you're still dealing with things in the United States, because you still live here, right? And the spirit ain't told you to go move nowhere else, right? So, yeah, some of us still doing things in the United States as long as we're living here, and as long as we have physical forms, we still do things here. Okay, but detaching spiritually, like you just kind of doing what you know you need to do because of the rules that's here and the way it's already set up, but like detaching spiritually, because here's what I saw when that Washington Monument that I saw in the vision was struck down. Because NYC is the capital, financial capital of the United States, and the fact that that's about to be gone lets you know that that's the end of the United States of America. That's it. Okay, that's it, because that was the financial capital. Okay, but yeah, anybody who's spiritually attached, that's like really, really attached to the United States of America, and like attached to everything it has to offer. Excuse me, this is I'm touching a plastic bag. That's what you hear. They're going to go along with the United States of America. Okay, so it's not always just about the rich, right? It's about anybody who has an attachment to the United States. And I'm talking about just attached to it, not doing what you got to do because you're here, but literally attached. Okay? And it's almost like to no longer be attached is like you have to learn how to be without whatever comforts they offer. And it seems like that's what's happening now. That's why I made a couple of videos on I made a couple of uploaded the videos about how they just might be doing folks a favor who's supposed to be, who needs to rise, and they kind of not, this is what has to happen to make them do it. Okay, because those comforts are being removed, and now if they don't want to be caught up in this mess that's going on spiritually, because United States, I saw the Washington Monument, I saw it looked like it was struck down and it just fell. That's what I saw. It just fell over, but it looked like something struck it down. And whoever is attached to the United States with its comforts, they're going to, and I feel like that's what all this stuff going on is about too. Some people are learning to detach from the comforts that the United States has to offer because it was basically all a lie. And so we have to detox and detox from all the indoctrination and all of this, whatever comfort we felt like we had that was all based on lies and all based on us losing our power, giving it to somebody else because we were comfortable in the United States of America. Now, I want to go into what I think is happening with this nuke. First of all, I was listening to somebody's video, and this guy was naming all the bug-out supplies that were suggested for people in New York City and bug-out supplies. And that immediately, I said, here they go after money again. Okay, I get that there could be a nuclear, there's a threat of a nuclear bomb or whatever, a nuclear attack. But telling people, okay, well, you need to get all these supplies. Just have all these supplies just in case. They're telling people to get all these supplies just in case. So guess what? Now they done bought up everything in the stores. They're getting money. They're getting money. They buying all this stuff, and mountain bikes was on the list too, I believe. I don't know. He's just said something about mountain bikes, so you know probably what color he was now. But nothing. I don't care about no color. I'm just saying mountain bikes. Who mostly ride mountain bikes like that? Okay, so but the point is though, it's not to focus on that. I don't want to get off on that one, but the point I'm making is that it looked like a lot of these retail stores are needing to make a whole lot of money right now before things come to an end, because it will. And then you had what they want to call Sin City, Las Vegas. I mean, what's not Sin City though? They call it Sin City because whatever in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. I hope they're not calling it Sin City because of those casinos, because it's casinos everywhere. I don't think they sitting any more in Las Vegas than they doing in Los Angeles than they did in New York, than they did in I grew up in Alabama. They're not sitting any more in Las Vegas than they do in Alabama, because guess what? Them Christians who feel like they are holy, they really ain't that holy. Matter of fact, the Christians probably sin more than the people who actually know they sinning. Okay, because why? Because sometimes, and I say Christians because I'm from Alabama, so that's the Bible Belt. That's the only reason why I'm saying Christians, right? Because they do the most judging, and then when you do a whole lot of judging, that's worse than sleeping with everybody on the street, right? Whether you're a man or a woman, either one can be a whore, I guess that's what you want to call it. But my point is, you probably got folks in Alabama that sin more than folks in Las Vegas, because they know what they're doing and they realize what they're doing. A lot of Christians, especially where I grew up, they don't realize really how evil they really are. So they probably committing the biggest sin they are, okay? They don't know what they're really doing. They don't know the holidays they're celebrating. They don't know that they're helping somebody else's rituals. They don't know that they're helping building up somebody else's evil kingdom. They don't even realize what they're doing. Okay, so that's why all this flooding in Nevada and religious people, well, not Nevada, but Las Vegas, and so religious people want to call it because it's Sin City. They need to go on somewhere with that now. They need to go on somewhere with that. They're clearing out those areas. They're clearing out a lot of areas because another country, for me, that's just one of the reasons. Another country, China, many people already know this by now. China owns the United States of America. But not all of it. I don't think they are fully over California. I don't think they own California, and I don't think they own Hawaii. I think those are the two states that were left out. But then I don't know now, because that's what I heard somebody else say. But telling them to get all this bug out supplies, they trying to sell everything in these retail stores as much as possible. Like, I see the game that they after money. But okay, now here I'll go with the spiritual part, because I don't want to stay on too long. Now the part they're talking about, and pay attention to media. So now this is where I get into where there's a definitely shift that's happening. There's a split that's happening. Something is going on where these people need folks to believe in the news. I guess people are not believing in the news the way they used to. I don't know. With everything they're pushing, I guess they feeling like people are not believing in the news like they used to. So now they need to grab people's attention again. I guess whatever they're doing, whatever they're trying to push and mandates they're trying to push, maybe they don't feel like it's enough to get the results they need, okay, for them to really stay in power like they want to stay in power. Because for them to stay in power, here's why: because they're not real. They only real in the minds of people, and so the only way they exist is in the minds of people. And if people stop paying attention to them, they no longer exist. And so they need to, and I'm talking about these so-called powers that be, okay? And so they need to have people focusing on the news again, because they need these thought forms to form in your mind. They need to kind of develop this illusion of a mind again, and they need to plant these thought forms. They need you to pay attention to them, to keep planting these thought forms in you, because thoughts are things, right? Thoughts become things. They literally become things. They create realities. And when enough people, since they telling folks, you need to watch the news, you need to watch the media, you need to pay attention, it seems like they sounding desperate. Why are you telling folks that you need to pay attention to media? I'm not gonna say I don't get that. I do get it, but I don't even know why that had to be said. I don't know why that had to be said to tell people to pay attention to media. They need people's attention for them to survive, because they need to be in the minds of everybody. If people take these powers that be, or whoever's controlling media, and just whatever powers that be, out of their minds, they don't exist anymore. I'm telling you, they don't exist, because they're not real anyway. They're an illusion. And so something is happening where they're literally wasting away, because they're an illusion anyway. They don't exist for real. There's nothing authentic about them. They're lies. Their whole existence is a lie. And if people, that's why they need people to believe lies more than they believe the truth. Because if people start shifting towards the truth, they no longer exist, because they're an illusion. And I'm talking about a lot of these powers that be, okay? I'm not talking about all extraterrestrials or whatever. I don't know about all that stuff. I'm just talking about a lot of these powers that be that's pushing this stuff. But anyway, they pushing this because they know they don't exist. They cannot exist without you constantly, without them constantly putting some kind of thoughts in you. Okay, and if you get to a point where you start going more towards the truth than their lies, then they're not going to exist anymore. But what's going to happen, and it's already been said many times, is that there's going to be a shift. There's going to be a split, and there's going to be a split between the people who are going to go towards whatever lies is being told, and who yearns for more of the truth. And people who yearn more for the truth, it takes inner work for that. So you can't say, you can't just say out of your mouth, well, I want to know the truth. I don't want no lies. You can't just do it like that, because see, the real you is the truth. Most of us, the way we've been operating is in our ego, okay? Like believing in the physical reality, doing all this stuff, going to work every day, everything that we think that we do, everything, all of that is an illusion. We haven't done, to be honest with you, everything that we've done, we think we've done, Everything that we think that we have done, we really have not done, okay? Because it's all an illusion. So to really want the truth, the truth is in you, okay? And it's in the real you, not the ego you that holds on to a physical reality, not the ego you. It lies in the real you. So people who really yearn for the truth is really going within themselves and not just looking for somebody else to just give them the truth. That's not the truth. Because if the truth is somebody else is giving it to you, then you got to determine what's real and what's not. And it's still relying on something that you perceive to be outside yourself. So the truth is actually the inner you. That's the real truth. There's no other truth besides the inner you. Okay? There's no other truth besides that. So anybody who's yearning for the truth is yearning for the real them. And that's the spirit man, okay? Or spirit, I'll call it spirit man because that's kind of how it's been used, but that's the real you. Okay? And I think that's it. I don't have much else to say. And I will talk to you later.